What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're talking affordable Middle Eastern fragrances in this video that I personally think can help you stand out, because these are some interesting profiles. Some that are very familiar to certain fragrances with maybe their own little twist that give them a slight uniqueness, and some that are very similar to others. But nonetheless, you'll save some money, you'll smell really good, and they perform really good. More than likely, there's not a lot of people around you, if any at all, that will have ever smelled it before. So needless to say, you're going to stand out. So let's talk about these 10. Stay tuned. Starting with one from Khadlaj Perfumes. This is kind of in the vein of an Invictus Victory elixir, but it doesn't have the same level of earthy patchouli, similar vanillic, smoky type of tone. This is Khadlaj Epoque Artistique. Of the line of 4 from this particular line, I think this is the best of the bunch. It's got this delightful, resinous, sweet vanilla that's not too creamy delectable. It's got a little bit of that going on, but it's more so that slight earthy tone, whereas in Victory Elixir you get way more patchouli than this. I think that little touch of it, that little pinch of earthiness here, gives it just enough character to kind of take it away from the realm of being a straight up gourmand fragrance, so you're not just smelling like a snack, if you will. There's a little bit more intrigue here with the profile, I think, personally. Quality here is decent, performance is spectacular, and not really good for a warm day, but mild days, cooler days, evenings especially. If you're looking to, you like the slightly sweeter fragrances, you might want to look into this one. And as stated before, performance is great. It's Epoque Artistique from Khadlaj. A first half of the year hype beast in many ways. I know I was taking part in talking about how great this fragrance is, because it is. It's kind of a twist on Creed Absolute Aventus. It doesn't smell exactly like it. There are subtle nuance changes that in some ways make it more approachable, easier to get, and a better profile overall. Personally, not the same quality level, but it's Club de Nuit. Precious, as I'm told, is how to pronounce it, but I like saying Precieux as far as how it's spelled, and I don't care who doesn't like it, because the scent profile is hard not to like. Citruses, fruitiness, spices, woods, aromatics, a lot of depth here, great performance. This really is some good stuff. I find there's more of a juicy fruit smell to this one than even Absolute Aventus. That's one of the biggest differences. I get more of a woody nuance out of this one than the original that it's very similar to. Again, performance is great. I think you can get away with wearing this one year round. It's not too heavy to where you can't wear it in the heat. Just be kind of easy on the sprays depending on how, smothering the humidity is. And then the coldest of weather, of course, it'll do just fine. This is uber masculine. This will definitely stand out. I think this is one of the best releases of the year, personally, especially from an affordable standpoint. Hands down, top 3 release of the year. You really can't go wrong here. It smells incredible. It's Club de Nuit Precieux, or Club de Nuit Precious. Tomato. Now here's one that's very interesting and not for everybody, which is all the more reason it'll help you stand out. This is Rasasi Sotoor Raa. So you got to roll the R, right? Ra. Well, with this one, you get this very fresh, watery, like kind of astringent smell at the top, a little bit of a fruitiness. There's a spicy, woodsy tone, very musky, has this cleanliness to it, this interesting, like, soapy smell, like more like an antibacterial soap. I know that kind of sounds weird, but when you smell it, you'll be able to piece together what I'm saying. Great performance here. Not a monster, but it's kind of an addictive smell, honestly. It's been a little while since I've worn it myself, and when I was thinking of this topic and looking around the collection, this jumped out at me like, yeah, pick me. I belong in this video. It absolutely does. It's one of Rasasi's better offerings that I've ever tried. That offers a lot of freshness. Not everything's got to be heavy, spicy, rich, and dense to help you stand out. Sometimes there are fresher fragrances that will do that same job. And in my opinion, Rasasi Sotoor Raa, I didn't even roll my tongue that time. I tried to. It just didn't work. Is definitely one to check out. Now here's one I haven't spoke about in a while on this particular channel. This is actually really good. When I gathered these together, I sprayed this one on my hand. This is Ahmed Arwa. Arwa. This is impressive. So this has this kind of powdery fruits, and I mean more citrus, powdered citruses smell at the top, warm and ambery powder citrus. I know that kind of sounds weird, but man, this is some good stuff. I'm actually going to spray my hand again. Great atomizer. Cylinder style bottle, nice and hefty. This fragrance, I forgot how good this was. When, again, I was panning through the collection, what deserves to be in this topic. And this caught my eye. I said, I haven't smelled that in a while. And I gave it a sniff. I was like, yeah. How did I forget about this one? And it doesn't remind me of anything in particular. That's another thing that really helps it to stand out is it's got a uniqueness to it, at least as far as the, the fragrances I've smelled. Nothing jumps out at me as Arwa is similar to. It's highly addictive too. Very masculine citrus fragrance that offers, like I said, a nice woody, woody, powdery, ambery tone, but manages to have loads of citrus at the top that have this thick juiciness that don't make it a sweet citrus. It's still a sharp, juicy citrus. And like I said, it doesn't have any of that astringence of like a fresh cut lemon or fresh cut grapefruit. Because sometimes you can get that with heavy citrus in the top. And I think it's these other nuances that really ground it and pull it away from doing things like that. This is some good stuff. I'll definitely have a link down below. Highly encourage checking out Ahmed's Arwa. Now, similar to Chopard's Oud Malaki, which I can tell you first now, the Malaki line, huge fan. This is an interpretation from Paris Corner called Killer Oud, Death by Oud. So this is a nice oriental, resinous, spicy, woody fragrance. You get some citrus and aromatics at the top, but it's all about this smoky leather tobacco type of accord. Even though they don't list anything smoky, it definitely has a smokiness to it. This nuances very well. It doesn't change greatly, but the nuances it does offer, when I say very well, I mean they're very attractive. At least to me, I love the smell of this fragrance. This was actually, fun fact, my first Paris Corner fragrance. This is really, really good. This was a great introduction to the house, and one that I haven't talked about here on the channel in a while. And I've never smelled the original. And I'm a fan of the line from Chopard. I have a few other ones from the line. But this one in particular, it's like, I almost don't want to get that one because then I'll never touch this one. I'll just go for the original, if that makes sense. Like, why, if you have both, why not wear the original, right? But here, if you like, I guess, leathery, earthy, spiced fragrances that offer a bright aromatic tone in the top, you should really look into this one. It fits a style of woody orientals, but it doesn't specifically smell like any one thing other than Chopard's Oud Malaki, at least to my nose, and performance is outstanding here. I'm not going to call it a straight-up beast, but it gets pretty close. It's Paris Corner's Killer Oud, Death by Oud. Now, speaking of Paris Corner, this is a recent acquisition that I have fallen head over heels in love with. I really need to try Le Labo another 13 because Soothing Zephyr is that jam. Obviously, it's much more affordable than going that route. Man, the spiced ambroxan juicy pears combination is just like mwah, magnificence. It really is highly versatile. And another 13, Soothing Zephyr, they don't remind me of anything else as far as ambroxan-based fragrances. It's warm and spicy, yet very fresh and uplifting and bright at the same time. Reminds me very much of a molecule fragrance, because especially since it's based around ambroxan, it's hard to not sniff and sniff and sniff on this fragrance. Look, if you don't want to spend another 13 money, and I've never tried it, I really need to, because Paris Corner's offering, this is fantastic. This was just blindly sent to me in a package. I had never heard of it. I had no expectation. I'd never seen a note breakdown, and I fell in love with this fragrance. I have a full review up on the channel if you want to hear more beyond this, but I highly encourage checking this out if you're looking for a great everyday wear that doesn't smell like all the other great everyday wares. It's Paris Corner's Soothing Zephyr. In the vein of Orto Parisi Mega Mare, not quite the same though. Uber salty, aquatic, earthy, green, spicy, a lot of oak moss here, and the strongest fragrance in this video, Lattafa's Atlas. I've been talking about this one quite a bit over the last month because it's an impressive fragrance, especially if you're looking for a monster performer, which I am hardly ever looking for a monster performer, but I come across them all the time, and I know you guys are looking for beasts, and beast is an understatement here. Man, it gets better every time I sniff it, because the first time I sprayed it, I was like, ooh, that's way too salty for me. And the first time you smell it, you might feel the same way, but you got to give this one a shot. You got to give it more than one spray. You might even have to give it more than one wearing before you're going to find an appreciation for this. And look, there's no guarantees it's going to be for you, but if you're looking for something to stand out and grab attention, I mean, this is impressive stuff here, guys. There's no denying people are going to smell you. And if you want one of the salty aquatic monsters that's ever come out on the market, this is definitely one for you to check out. It's in that $30 to $40 price range. I don't remember exactly. It's pretty affordable. I picked it up from Fragrance Buy not that long ago. Hefty bottle, great atomizer, phenomenal fragrance with crazy performance. It's Lattafa's Atlas. Very much a pretty accurate interpretation of Fahrenheit Le Parfum, and I believe Fahrenheit Le Parfum, at least of the ones I've tried, to be the best of the bunch because of that enhanced booziness. You get a rum licorice combination with that violet leaf that's just knock your socks off. This is Fragrance World's Reinhardt Parfum, and it's extremely accurate, I have to say. Not a massive quality difference here, but you know, Fahrenheit's a timeless profile. And like I stated a moment ago, I think the Parfum is the superior take on the DNA. I've never tried the Absolute. I would like to try that one day. I believe it's been long discontinued. I would encourage checking this one out. Do I wish the bottle was different? Yes. I hate when they rip the bottle off like this. Formulas aren't copyrighted. I get it. So this is more of a clone than just an inspiration. But it's actually a really good one. It is. I seldom wear the original. I seldom wear this because it's a very elegant profile that I think deserves a special occasion. And if you're looking for a great special occasion fragrance that'll help you stand out, especially if you've ever tried that one and don't want to spend the over $100 that'll cost, you can spend around $30 and get the same experience with Fragrance World's Reinhardt Parfum. Now here's one from Khadlaj that was made famous and popular on TikTok from their pure perfume oil. They then made it into an eau de parfum spray, and it's very unisex. I think technically the women go after the pure oil, but fellas, I'm here to tell you it's actually a perfectly unisex fragrance in the eau de parfum spray anyways. Harim al Sultan from Khadlaj. This is citruses, rose, woods, a little bit of a dry pencil shaving like oud. It's really good. The rose here is not grandma-esque. It's not that watery, old school type of rose smell. And I really think it's due to the way the citruses, the fruits, and this particular oud oil come across. Performance here is great. I think this stuff is knock your socks off good. I need to get this back in my rotation this week because it's not too heavy for the humidity that we have right now. And anybody wondering, I'm talking about humidity with a hoodie on. I get it. I go to the gym after I do content in the mornings, and I wear a hoodie to the gym. So just in case for anybody that didn't know, because you never know who's watching what from video to video, and it'll be like, why are you talking about it's hot outside? You're wearing a hoodie, you idiot. There's a reason. There's a method to the madness. Now, not the easiest fragrance to find. I'll have Aroma Concepts linked below. That's where this bottle came from. And I would encourage checking it out. I believe it's right around $40-ish before any discount codes or anything like that. And if you've ever tried the perfume oil, this is that made into an eau de parfum spray, and it's a pretty loud fragrance. I'd say be mindful. This is not one to just go crazy with the trigger and go to town spraying. It's pretty stout. It's not a nuclear fragrance like Lattafa's Atlas that we spoke about, but it's definitely on that beast mode type of level, at least on my skin, to my nose, in my experience. So a very interesting citrus oriental rose is Harim al Sultan from Khadlaj. Last but not least, this takes inspiration from one of my favorite Mancera fragrances, that being Tonka Cola. This is Paris Corner's Cherry Cola. It is relatively accurate. I'm going to say every bit of 80 to 85%. You do get that spiced cola smell. Slight powdered sweetness, very uplifting, cherry. Not loads of cherry. I believe I get more cherry out of the original. So if you're looking for a cherry bomb, you're going to want to go after the original. If you want subtle cherry, this might be the way to go for you. This is more about the spices and the cola note. The spice kind of acts almost as the carbonation to the cherry coke is how I kind of view it. And then you have a soft powdered tonka bean sweetness, and it's not heavily powdered, but there is a little bit of powdery nuance to this one, at least on my skin, and I quite enjoy stuff like that. This will definitely help you stand out because you're going to smell like a cherry coke in many ways. I know that can sound kind of strange, and maybe why would you want to smell like that? But when you smell the fragrance, you're like, oh, I do want to smell like that. Maybe not all of you, but I know for me that's the case. And if you want something kind of interesting to step out with, but maybe not spend $80 to $110, maybe you want to spend $30, check out Paris Corner's Cherry Cola. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you tried? What do you have experience with? Definitely comment down below and let me know. Did any of these pique your interest? I'll try to have links to everything that I can. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 10 and you give them a spray now, there's always a good chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.